In my last video, I was talking about this version of the Altgens 7 photograph as it appears in the November 23rd, 1963 edition of Chicago's American, the name of the newspaper. And I was focusing especially on this part of the photo here, where in the standard version we have the base of the light pole in a particular position. But in this Chicago newspaper, the base of the light pole is instead the head of the president, with most of the base of the light pole absent. And when I made that video, I was working with the photography that I found on eBay. That is, I didn't have the actual newspaper in my possession. I now possess it, and now I can see the subtitle there. It says, Mrs. Kennedy leans over husband, arrow, seconds after fatal shot. Man on bumper is unidentified. So they're not saying it's the president's head, they're just saying that's the president that the arrow points to. You could say that, you might think that's his shoulder. His shoulder does kind of look like that in the Mormon photo. But it's not his shoulder, it's something outside of the car. And in the standard version of the photo, it's the base of the light pole. And in that video, my conclusion was that this is a separate edit from the original edit that put the light pole base in. I'm sure the light pole base doesn't belong there. It's too large in relation to the pole, and it doesn't line up with the pole, as I pointed out in that video. But I thought this might have been an earlier edit. That is, I did not think that this version originated with the standard version, that this version was working with the standard version that had the light pole base there. But now it's obvious to me that the left edge of the light pole base is in this version that doesn't have the light pole base. That is, most of the light pole base has been removed from this version, but a little piece of it is there. The left edge of it is still there, and it looks so much like the left edge of the light pole base in the standard version that I think there can be no doubt that whoever edited this version that makes it into JFK's head originally had that light pole base there and removed it to make it look like the president's head. And I don't understand why any Chicago newspaper editor would do that. I think it's crazy to think that an editor would do that. So what I think probably this means is that whoever was editing the photos, presumably in Dallas, originally did put the light pole base there, and then realized that wasn't a great solution and made another edited version after he did that. And I think probably it was realized that was even worse, and they went with the original, and somehow this alternate edit got to Chicago. That's my theory, but of course I don't really know. And here I'm comparing the light pole base in the standard version of the Altgens 7 with another one of the light poles in Dealey Plaza. I couldn't find a good picture of the same light pole base, but this is one that's a little further west on the street from a Rickerby photo. And it looks very similar, but the part I've circled in red on the one that's in the Rickerby photo, it's smooth going around the pole. Whereas in the Altgens photo, it looks like it's got the scalloping on that section that isn't there in the Rickerby photo. That scalloping is in the section above, clearly, in both of them. But as I was saying, in the Altgens 7 photo, it looks like that scalloping is on the smooth section. Presumably all the light poles would be the same at the time in Dealey Plaza. And so it might be that this is not really the same style light pole base that was edited into the Altgens 7 photo. Anyway, whatever exactly happened with that Chicago version, I don't know. But I still think that this is Chaney being hidden in the Altgens 7 photo. that in some versions you can see his helmet behind Jackie, and that this part where the base of the light pole is the back of the motorcycle, where the antenna base and license plate are. And I wouldn't have noticed that were it not for the Chicago version, but I'm not sure what the Chicago version means. But anyway, I still think that's what's going on here, that Chaney is being hidden in the Altgens 7 photo.